Magnificent Mile. Guests fly our official carrier, American Airlines, together with American Eagle. American offers daily
Sharon Stone, The Quick and the Dead, tonight on ATV.
Understand to understand the reason why I work all day just to stand.
The critically acclaimed Barrow McNeils begin an extensive maritime tour this weekend, and we're giving away CDs and concert tickets starting tonight, live at 5.
Paul Mennier, Nancy Regan, Yvonne Colbert on your side, and meteorologist Steve Weagle. This is the ATV Evening News, live at 5.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Friday, March 8th edition of Live at 5. I'm Nancy Regan.
And I'm Paul Mennier. Here's a look at some of the stories we're working on for tonight's show, starting with stormy weather.
I'm Dan McClellan in Halifax. Yet another snowstorm has hit our region, causing its share of delays, closing schools, and making for some white-knuckle driving. So how are people passing the time? We'll show you coming up on Live at 5.
I'm Janet Stewart in Halifax. The people who live in the house behind me want to know why their family pet was taken from their front lawn and put to sleep without any effort to try to contact them. I'll have their story later on Live at 5.
I'm Star Dobson in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, where technology is growing bigger by the moment. Coming up on Live at 5, we'll introduce you to some maritimers who are making it work high-tech.
Also tonight, Yvonne Colbert on the road to safety with an update on airbags.
And Paul has the best way to kickstart your weekend, the fastest 3 minutes on television, the plays of the week, later.
Also have Mike Duffy live from Ottawa tonight, and a story for International Women's Day. But right now, Steve Murphy.
You know, it seems to me, Paul, that Michael Jordan could be the plays of the week this week. What, 53 points or something last night?
Any given day, that guy can be the plays of the week.
An amazing guy. It's all coming up here live at 5. Also here tonight in your ATV Evening News at 6 o'clock, this late winter storm has dumped a lot of snow in the Maritimes, a lot of freezing rain. It's made getting around downright difficult. Look at this near whiteout conditions. And of course, this is one of the busiest travel weekends of the winter. March break ending in New Brunswick, just getting underway in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. So we'll check out the tricky travel plans tonight on your ATV Evening News at 6. Also here tonight, a tragic story from Toronto. A completely innocent woman has been killed after being hit by a stray bullet from a drive-by shooter. What makes it even worse is that this happened as she held her baby in her arms. The story from Toronto tonight at 6 o'clock. Also here at 6, police have a surveillance video and an eyewitness following a midnight shooting at the strike-bound Sydney Cable Company. But do they have their man? Striking staff say they had nothing to do with this. We'll update this story tonight at 6 o'clock. And also this story coming up. More toonie trauma. Not only does the new $2 coin fall apart, but ATV News has now learned there is yet another problem with the $2 coin. The story is coming up here and only here tonight on your ATV Evening News at 6 o'clock, right after Live at 5. One other story we're following for 6 o'clock tonight, the strike at the Post. The Cape Breton Post newspaper is over. The striking workers are accepting a new contract. We'll have details coming up at 6 o'clock. Right now, though, Nancy and Paul, and First at 5 tonight.
Thanks, Steve. And first at 5, winter came back with a bite across much of the Maritimes today, as you probably noticed.
That's right. Blowing snow closed schools right across Nova Scotia, and the snow is expected to continue falling into the evening in southern New Brunswick.
Checking the weather across the Maritimes, let's start with the region's largest city, with hit today with a 1-2 punch of snow and freezing rain. Yes, plenty of slipping and sliding for morning commuters in Halifax today. This afternoon, between 10 and 12 centimeters fell on mainland Nova Scotia, even more in inland areas. Minor accidents, delayed flights, and school closures were the order of the day. Kids, of course, didn't mind much. Today was the last scheduled day of school before March break in Nova Scotia.
And right now, let's go to Moncton, where Alex Vass is standing by. Alex, how bad was the snow blowing there today?
Well, it's the wind, and let me tell you, Paul, the snow is blowing around everywhere in this province. But it wasn't what Monktonians thought they would wake up to this morning. There was only about 5 centimeters of snow on the ground when Monktonians woke up, and it wasn't until later in the day when more snow and wind picked up, and now we have about 10 centimeters of snow on the ground. We're expecting about another 5 to 10. but it's the winds that's causing blowing snow as well as drifting snow all across southeastern New Brunswick. A few cars have slid off the road, and I know we came across one accident while we were out driving today involving a plow and a tractor-trailer truck. Luckily, there were no injuries involved, but it's blowing and windy here in Moncton, that's for sure tonight.
All right, thank you, Alex.
You're welcome.
Let's go to Sydney now, where ATV's Randy McDonald has been out in the elements. Randy.
Nancy, by the time this is all over, we may have as much as 30 centimeters of snow. About 20 centimeters are already on the ground, and for the next 6 or 7 hours, it will be snowing off and on. Today, it was a real mess on the roads, as you see here. There were whiteouts galore. Police were warning people to stay off the roads unless it was necessary to travel. Schools were closed. It really was probably the worst snow we've seen so far this year. We've had a very unusual winter in Cape Breton, and but there weren't any major accidents. It was mainly a greasy situation as far as moving around. And as I said, we have about 20 centimeters, and there's more to come, and we expect some freezing rain later this evening. So not a nice day altogether. The schools were closed. Everybody was off except for the people like us who had to work.
All right, thank you, Randy. Okay. Let's head on now to St. John, where Mike Cameron is standing by. What's the latest there, Mike?
Well, Paul, the good news is that the worst is over as far as this storm is concerned, but the snow and the blowing snow is going to be with us a little bit longer than expected. So far, St. John and area is digging out from between 20 to 25 centimeters. It was supposed to clear up this evening, but we're told now that we can expect snow and drifting until the wee hours of the morning. It means another 5 to 10 centimeters, which would make this the heaviest snowfall of the season. The roads are in rough shape, but no major accidents to report so far. A few cancellations were necessary today, including the Meals on Wheels program, but schools did not have to be canceled, as we've said, because this is the last scheduled day of March break. All in all, guys, a good night to stay at home.
All right, thank you.
You said it.
I don't know how many Maritimers got suckered in by that nice February, but I think most of us knew that we were probably going to get a little bit of weather in March. Doesn't mean we have to like it, though.
Well, with schools closed around the region today and slippery roads the order of the day, how are Maritimers passing the time?
ATV's Dan McClellan with more on that. Dan?
Well, Paul, as we've just seen, motorists faced a treacherous drive to work this morning. Road conditions were such that school cancellations took place all across Nova Scotia, and while not everyone likes this weather, everyone seems to have a way of dealing with it.
Welcome back to Live at 5. Steve Weigel standing by with the maritime weather. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we want to go live to Ottawa, where Mike Duffy is standing by. Mike, I had the pleasure of being in New Waterford on budget night, where, of course, there are many displaced miners. They were looking for jobs in the budget. They didn't see it. But I understand that who they call Dr. Dingwall was working on their behalf. Is that right?
The balding barrister from Glace Bay. He says to me now, he says, I'm really angry, Duff, because you have more hair than me. Dave Dingwall, Paul Martin hadn't sat down in his chair when Dingwall was lobbying the Prime Minister to say, there, I got 3 prospects for Cape Breton right now. And of course, Doug Young over in New Brunswick saying, hold on here. But the 3 prospects are the National Gun Registry, which Alan Rock is setting up to coordinate on a computer basis all the guns across the country, the new combined National Food Inspection Service. They're going to try and get the federal and provincial food inspectors all together and create one national force. Dingwall says Glace Bay would be perfect for the headquarters for that. And the third thing that was contained in the budget is a new National Tax Commission. This is a kind of tax collector for Ottawa and the provinces, so there would be one combined unit doing all the collection and all of the strong arming and other stuff that those nice tax people do. And Dingwall says, and Cape Breton would be perfect for that as well. So in the meantime, you got Doug Young practically trying to pull Dingwall off of Chrétien's back, saying,
so he can climb on.
That's right. You know, we got some people in New Brunswick, and they're pounding on the 2 of them is Lawrence Macaulay. So what we've got here are 3 prospects for federal projects, and we've got the 3 maritime ministers going after them hammer and tongs. So last week we told you about what happened at Cabinet when they held up the signs and the pictures and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Dingwall may be down, but he's not out. He's right there. And I guess what they're figuring is if he's after 3, he's got to win at least one of those for Cape Breton. So there's hope,
that's how you
hope
figure
the
their chances are going to be? Like they might get 1?
Well, I think there'd be 1 each, right? Wouldn't that be the way to do it?
Well, that would be
PEI,
some good news.
We've got experience, of course, with the GST in Summerside, so some of us have been lobbying, and Paul Skierman's been sending me faxes from Summerside saying, look, we got the perfect place here. We've got room to expand, so everybody's keen to get whatever's going. And as I say, there are 3 new things in the budget, so we're after them.
Okay, Mike, we'll be watching for you on Sunday edition.
We'll be doing a lot more on this and a lot more, so see you Sunday at 1 right here on ATV.
All right, thanks, Mike.
My pleasure, pal.
Good night. Steve Weagle standing by with the weather, but right now, let's take a look at our current conditions.
This is the kind of day Steve Weagle has what you might call a high-pressure job.
Yes, it has been a very busy day. I thought I'd start off first tonight, Nance, with a look at what I showed earlier about the snowfall amounts that are headed our way in addition to what we already have across the Maritimes right now. So let's take a look at that graphic first across the region. An additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow is possible overnight tonight in New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, the northern mainland of Nova Scotia, and Cape Breton. You can see in the yellow areas here of Cape Breton, we are looking at some freezing rain in the forecast, and an additional 2 to 5 centimeters expected through Halifax down through Yarmouth and the Annapolis Valley. This is because of a second upper-level low-pressure system which is going to push in the Maritimes overnight tonight. Here it is right here. The main system is right here. Let's take a look at the systems map showing that one low in the next couple of hours will be centered just to the south of Sydney, and a ridge of high pressure pushing in overnight, or not overnight, during the weekend, later in the weekend, and a very long cold front which set off some tornadoes yesterday down through Georgia. Here's a latest satellite shot. 2 things to show you here. One is the low pressure system which is pushing off the coast into Newfoundland, and the developing cloud just back to the west. See it here? There's some snow in here. 5 to 10 centimeters for New Brunswick and parts of Prince Edward Island and Cape Breton. And this is going to move in overnight tonight. So we aren't through with the snow yet. We are looking at some messy weather headed our way for Friday night. Here's the forecast in detail. Snow across the Maritimes beginning once again overnight, possibly mixed with freezing rain along the eastern coast, and winds from the south or the northwest at 30 and 40 kilometers an hour. -8 to -25 for overnight lows. So a cold night. Temperatures will be really dropping up through northern New Brunswick. Tomorrow, first in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, some sunny breaks in the forecast, but we are looking at scattered flurries too, and not a lot of sunshine expected through Cape Breton and Prince Edward Island with that cold northwesterly wind. Temperatures tomorrow -5s, -6s for most area. So it will be a chilly day. You'll have to bundle up, and the winds, you'll really notice them. As in New Brunswick also, we're looking at partly sunny conditions, -6 to -12 for daytime highs, chance of flurries out there, and that cold northwesterly breeze. Now for the outlook. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. Cold on Sunday, though, in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. We're looking at plenty of sunshine and the freezing mark for Monday. And for Tuesday, a very pleasant +5 and sunny breaks. Much the same in New Brunswick. Plenty of sunshine Sunday, -5, -2 on Monday, and really warming up for Tuesday at +4 and sunny breaks. Looks like some of that snow will melt as we head into next week. Paul.
Close, but no cigar. Thanks, Steve. It's me, Nancy. And it's time to give away some more tickets now to the Barry McNeil's concerts. If you would like to attend their concert in Moncton, here's your information. It's at the Capitol Theatre Wednesday, March 13th, the Moncton Barry McNeil's concert.